morning, everybody. How are you all doing? It is January 9th, Tuesday, 7 in the morning, and I wanted to take a look at Ripple. It's kind of one of our favorites. It was definitely the probably the hottest coin in like late 2018, right? I think it made the most gains out of all of the coins out there in terms of market cap, in terms of just how much it went up as well. It went up like 1,000%, which was awesome. And now everyone's wondering what the heck is going on with it. But before we take a look at Ripple, we gotta understand what the heck is Bitcoin doing. And Bitcoin has an impact on every other coin, right? So let's get an idea of what Bitcoin is doing. First of all, we're gonna do Elliott Wave. Let me get my drawing toolbar here. Where is it? Here we go. No, it's not here. Ah, it says it's here. There we go. It's right here. So, Elliott Wave says there's 5 motive waves up, and followed by that, there's some sort of correction. ABC is very typical, but what we'll see on a primary trend is more like something like this usually. Maybe something like that. And what that ends up doing is it ends up wedging. Like that. I probably drew it a little bit off. It probably could be drawn a lot better. Like that. Or other times, it might end up making patterns like this, where it makes a flag consolidation. Something like that. And other times it could be just a symmetric one, like that, where you're really unsure of what can happen. These ones are very hard to play, right? Other times it can be an ascending triangle. This as well. And other times it can be a descending triangle as well. So I'm just going over the different variations and patterns that we might see. So this is a descending triangle. That usually breaks to the downside. Usually is the key word. Not always, okay? It's high probability of it breaking to the downside. So, and I forgot to mention that within each of these waves, there's also 5 primary waves as well, or 5 impulse waves. Okay. Now that we have the basics and the fundamentals down, we're going to take a look at Bitcoin and what the heck is going on. So there's 5 waves in here. I'm not going to get to counting all of them, but there's 100% with certainty 5 waves in here. So it's most likely something like that. You know, that's subwave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that, right? And within this wave, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and a massive extended third wave there. Something like that. So we have our 5 waves going up like that. And now, what we have is our corrective mode. Now, I'm going to explain to you guys how far Bitcoin is ahead of the pack than every other coin out there right now, okay? Let's go to Go. Now, Bitcoin just finished its 5th one, okay? Its 5th wave, making the first primary wave. So it made subwaves 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This, for example, is Go's first subwave, okay? That it just completed. Like that in about September, and then it consolidated. Look for how long, okay guys, before it actually broke out. This one consolidated for like 2 months before it actually broke out, and this is only on the first subwave of the 5 primary waves. Bitcoin's done so many already. Bitcoin's done you know, it's done like not a grand cycle yet. This is on the final 5th wave, where it went up to, you know, the all-time high there. I forgot what it is, And now it's in major correction mode, right? So that's where we are right now. Every coin does this, okay? And this made 2 for me to go, and now it's making 3. And we're going to get a major correction soon for me to go as well. So anyways, let's go back to Bitcoin. This is really important for you guys to understand how Bitcoin affects every other coin out there right now. So that's one way to look at Bitcoin, okay? Actually, first simple one. No, I don't like that way. Sorry. The way we're seeing it right now is like this, as a support, right? That is how we are seeing Bitcoin right now. We're seeing a wick poke through this support and a massive rejection, right? It shows best, I think, on, was it the 30-minute, 40-minute, 45-minute showed nicely. The 1 hour one showed nicely too. A huge dragonfly doji, right? Massive rejection. So this is one way to look at where we currently stand with Bitcoin. And there's no doubt in my mind that it's making an A, B, C, D, E correction. Yeah, we'll call this B. Something like along these lines. For an A, B, C, D, E type correction. Now, there's 2 critical points that are resistances and supports for Bitcoin. This was a major area, right? Right around here was a major resistance / support area. Another key area would be kind of around, actually there's like 3. This area is there. And then now we have kind of these areas right here. Even down to here, to the 11Ks, we'll have to say, okay? Okay, now that we know, like for example here, it meant resistance coming, support coming down, right? And of course here, in hindsight, it has resistance breaking out of it, right? So that established our trend line up here, our support, or resistance, I mean. Then another thing I want to make note of is that if you guys notice this type of pattern, actually, we'll deal with that in a second. Right now, if we go into a different time frame, Bitcoin's kind of making this type of pattern right here, right? It's making a descending triangle. This is on the 30-minute chart, right? Because it's meeting this first resistance area and support, or sorry, support area. It's getting very close to it, so it's facing it, right? I should probably draw a little bit better like that. But if you guys notice every time, for example here, it also made the same type of consolidation type pattern. And then it broke out of it, right? That one's a key one. This one is a big one too. It's not just, this one came all the way from up there, right? And then it broke down to a lower support. And it broke down to here, which became support, right? But this one here, we thought it would hold, because this was a previous support / resistance area, as I indicated earlier. Kind of right around here, so people thought it would hold. But it didn't. So it broke down to a lower support area. So keep that in mind, okay? It broke down to a lower support area here, here. Here it actually went up. But here it's doing the same type of consolidation And I think it's going to break down lower, guys. And if it breaks down lower, we have this region right here as a buy zone for Bitcoin, which means coins like Ripple will take a bloodbath if this does end up happening. So now, guys, we have different types of trend lines and that acts as support and resistances. We have many different ones now. It's all arbitrary and subjective as a trader, right? Or as an analyst. It's up to you guys which one you pick as your supports and resistances. The only thing I'm very sure of is that it has made a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 type pattern, and then now Bitcoin is going to do, you guys are going to be blown away by the similarity, some sort of A, B, C, D, E type of correction. You're going to be blown away by the similarity. So we're at 14,700 right now. We've dropped a little bit already, I think. Right? So we're getting a definitely like a massive support line up here. So because of all these reasons that are indicating Bitcoin just can't break through out of critical areas, I'm led to believe that it's going to eventually be pushed down to a lower support area. That is no arguing at all a descending triangle, right? That might be a little bit generous, giving that support. Something like this looks very fitting. We're finding support here, of course. And I think it's going to go back up to the 1500s, and eventually, you know, later tonight or tomorrow, it's going to break down out of here. And then it's going to fall to one of these regions. You know, it could be this one here, depending on the support line. But this is a critical one, guys. This is a critical one to hold. It's a psychological number, I'm going to guess 11,000. So there's many scenarios right now for Bitcoin. But before it breaks even higher than 1757, it's got to finish this consolidation. So everything that Bitcoin does affects Ripple. And that's a key note to remember, that you need to be staring at a Ripple chart and a Bitcoin chart simultaneously at the same time. If you're not, you're doing it wrong. I'm going to give you guys so many different scenarios. So, where does wave 1 end? In hindsight, when you're doing Elliott wave, wave 1 ends when you get a lower low than the previous low. Here, for example. So with Ripple now, we have wave 1. It's so clear in hindsight, right, guys? It's so clear in hindsight how beautiful this is. Do you guys want to see something crazy? Okay. I'm going to show you a simple little strategy. I don't have all my EMAs on here right now to show you it, but I'm going to show you guys a strategy that you could have used, for example, on a 4-hour chart, okay? You just make this yellow line called the 55 moving average, okay, on a chart, and then as soon as it closes successfully with volume above it, anywhere here, as an investor, you're holding long term. See right here, boom, volume spike here. That was the first indication on the 8th that something is going on, right? And then let's say you bought next volume spike, boom, right here. You bought this volume spike and you follow this one strategy. And this one strategy is hold and forget, and that's it. And then this is specifically on a 4-hour chart and a 55 moving average. You hold and forget, and you check on it periodically. And the only time you ever sell it, let's say some big news came, like for Ripple. Big news came, announcement, it's, you know, it's making ground, it's penetrating mass markets. Something is going to happen to it. But the question is, when do I sell? I just know something is exploding with Ripple. You will sell it when the next candle is below the yellow line. That's right, you heard me. You will not sell your Ripple or any coin until a candle closes, for example here, successfully, sorry, I meant below, until, hold on, I'm going to say it again, until the yellow line is above the candles, or that's also like saying the candles are below the yellow line, okay? So follow this strategy. You will not sell it until the candle is below the yellow line. Right now we're at 23 cents. I'm not talking about my trend line, I'm talking about my 55 moving average. When are we going to sell it? Nope, not going to sell it yet. Not going to sell it yet. We're going to hold strong like bull. Are we going to sell it yet? Are we going to sell it yet? Now we sell it right here. Now's the time that we sell at a Ripple. I'm sorry guys. Right now is so what I'm saying is, yeah, you could have sold it at $3.29. You could have, in hindsight, but you also could have sold it at $1.24, right? You also could have sold it at 81 cents. So what this strategy guarantees is that you will maximize your profit taking over the long term. Does that make sense? So this guarantees that you are going to take as much profit as possible, and you are only going to be closing your positions when the moving averages are actually the moving averages cross over, right? Like right now, the moving average of 100% crossover on Ripple right here. It's a little bit scary that it's falling below here. So now we are going to take a look at an analysis of Ripple and see what's going on. So first of all, the first thing that I like to do after major correction is see how far it has retraced back. And guys, we have only retraced a petty amount. We've only retraced right now, not even 382. Like this wick here that's been penetrating it, sure, it can count as almost 0.5. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw some major trend lines that we see as supports and resistances on the big picture. It's always important to get an idea of the big picture and what's going on. By the way, guys, don't get me wrong. It could very well just bounce right back up above 235, but that's, you know, it's all that this strategy does, once again, is make sure that it lets you ride it for as long as possible, and you just get as much profit as you can over the long term. Many people wonder, hey, how do I know when to sell? And well, this is a decent strategy using 55 moving averages, but of course you should use a combination of many other ones as well right now. And Bitcoin's falling right now, not much, you know, it's not falling too much. So Bitcoin could find support, you know, right now, or it could fall down to lower 1400s, and if it breaks, like, say, high 1300s, it's going to fall down to like the $12,000 to $13,000 range. That's why I wanted to bring up Bitcoin. It has a direct impact on what Ripple does, and you got to watch both screens once again if you're trading both of them. So here we only see a crappy retracement of only right here, right? So there's many different ways to be drawing our supports and resistances right now. So one way is using our wick, right? Let's say on a 1 hour, well, let's say, sorry, on a 4 hour, we're just going to be using exclusively the wick. There's no right, there's no wrong way. It's all subjective, and it all depends on the circumstance. So this way here is through the wick. Now, okay, that's decent, that way there. Now let's use the next two bodies, significant bodies that we see as well on a lower time frame. On a lower one here. So we see kind of like as a lower channel, right? And here we see as the wick poking out of it. So let's see what we see on a 1 hour chart. On a 1 hour chart, it looks really good. So what I'm digging right now is this top line as my major support area, 1. I'm going to make this yellow, okay? The yellow one right here is my major support area that I'm seeing, and then my secondary area is this blue line right here, which I will make red. Danger zone, okay? So what I do think is happening is that this is also making an A, B, C, D, E correction, guys. Actually, let's go to a different time frame. Let's to you don't get the relevant points enough, put it that way. Oh, I wanted to make note of this first. I forgot to say that this is your A, this is your B, and this is your C. It's fairly symmetrical that we see right now. But is that your C? Is this really the C? That is the question right here. What I think that this needs to do is finish a 5-wave count, which I don't see yet. I see 1, I see 2, I see 3, I see a perfect 4, and I want to see a 5. But the question is the 5 right here, right around the 215, 216 area, or will be the 5 a little bit lower to the $2 range? So that's why we are very unsure right now, okay? I don't think this is going to make a simple ABC correction. Not as simple as that. Now we're going to use our Fibonacci extension tool, and I'll show you guys why I expect further retracement still. Because this hasn't really done a typical one-to-one retracement. In fact, it's barely even done a 786 retracement, and we're only at the 382 level right now. So how could I not expect a deeper retracement for Ripple right now? That's why I was waiting to do a T on it. Like, IOTA, it hit our target. I hope some of you guys realize that, like, you gotta ladder it, right? And I'm more of a swing trader, so in my IOTA video, it was only at 389, and we hit our targets of 420 and 450, right? So those ones were fairly predictable, and then it gave us a major resistance area that we know that what needs to be broken later. So here, right, this one gave us a similar high as well, where now we know what needs to be broken. It's forming a nice resistance or channel or wedge, whatever you want to call it. I'm waiting for a 5th one right here, okay? And I think that if it does a decent retracement, I mean, let's go to, let's delete some of this. Let's just say of the 3rd wave alone. I mean, yeah, I just feel like it's more likely to a big buy zone. It could be somewhere right here right now. Like, I'm just gonna guess a good buy zone is not really guess, but it's pretty big right now. But I think that a good buy zone for Ripple will be closer to the 0.5 Fibonacci level. Here it's just not retraced enough for a major uptrend like this. And you can't be surprised, right? Like, these major wicks here are people getting liquidated, probably. People who are still in long positions from $3 and up here, they're getting liquidated. Here as well, people in long positions from 287 just hoping and praying that it goes back up. Of course, it's going to drop down to $2. These little mini flash crashes happen because people are in leveraged long positions, right? They're in leveraged long positions, and when they're in a leveraged long position, they get liquidated, which adds even more strength to the downtrend, and it forms like a cascade, a domino effect of people trying to fill their orders. So when you're in a long position, you have to close your position, obviously, by selling, right? But if imagine a lot of people getting liquidated and stop losses are getting triggered at the same time, what ends up happening is you have to line up, first of all, so to speak, right? Whoever gets liquidated first or after each other, they are put in a queue, right? So sometimes there's not enough liquidity to fill everybody at a decent price, so it causes this domino effect and like a waterfall that just keeps going down and down and down because orders are trying to get filled and there are not enough people putting them up, or there's not usually people that would have them up are people who are bots, for example, or people who have stop buys. For example, if it goes down below this price, then put in the stop buy there, etc. Or if it goes down below this price, it'll do a market execution and just buy it. And there's not a lot of people who do that. There's more people who do it manually, for example, like myself, right? So anyways, that's why we see these massive wicks. It's not just weak hands selling off, it's people getting liquidated and stop losses. So I'm gonna be patient. I think right now, I'm gonna add like, I want to get about, for a swing position, I think I want to get about 10, just a round number, like 10K. I think I'll add like 2,500 or something right now. Like I'll get 2,500 Ripple, just around here, right? And then I'll add more when it gets to like 210, maybe another 25%. And if I find support, then I'll probably do a market execution. But then if it goes down lower to like the 170s, 180s range, then I'll do a big market execution, or just I'll get my limit filled then. But we do have to see that, like, now going over the other indicators such as the histogram and the MACD, right here is still down ticking pretty hard because Bitcoin's on a tear still. So the 3-hour chart, we see it getting higher highs, that's for sure. Or sorry, higher lows. See that? Well, that's really prominent, that color on green on the red here, eh? Right? It's forming a beautiful, beautiful rising channel here. Or not rising channel, but a rising support. 2-hour, it's making a double bottom here eventually. There, it reached a pretty low. This is like really, really, really low. Good, this is making a falling wedge. That looks like it wants to be broken soon, I think. Let's see if it can wedge like that, okay? Yeah, guys. It's good. Yeah, you can also apply patterns to RSI. So falling wedge is usually bullish, right? It's just waiting to break out of that right now. So remember I mentioned like this line here, and then we use different time frames, right? This one was using basically just like that here. It's fairly symmetric. And this one's using not body to body, but just the bodies of this candle, these candles here. So notice how it's finding resistance already. So here's the play, guys, that I'm going to be taking for my swing trade position. I am going to be adding a little bit right now, right, because it's hitting this yellow line. So yeah, I'm going to definitely take a position here at the 382 fib level. That seems to be holding for now. Where is our next major key support and resistance area? Right here. Right? Definitely. See, this broke down, guys. It broke down. Hold on, I'm just taking a look at Bitcoin as well. Bitcoin broke that triangle already, guys. You guys remember what I was talking about? Take a look. Oh no, it hasn't broken it yet. I noticed Ripple falling a lot, but it did. I think when we last looked at it, it was around here still. Or yeah, it was up there, 14,700. So you guys see it, right? What I'm talking about now? We're finding nice support here. I think it's going to bounce up to the 1500s. But because Ripple was falling, we can also assume that Bitcoin was falling as well, right? Here, it didn't even last. Look at this. This is supposed to be like a support, right? Where it's supposed to wedge in here, and then eventually break near the end, but it didn't even last right now. Said no, not today. Right? And then because that one broke, you could have assumed that a channel could have formed or something like that. But that just broke right through it too. It didn't care. So yeah, Ripple's it's on a tear right now to correct. But my point is, oops, I didn't want to delete that. No, I want my yellow line back, guys. No! No! Where'd it go? What? That's why I'm on Bitcoin right now, guys. Before you panic, at least make sure you are on the right exchange, okay? I can't even find Bitfinex. Where is Bitfinex? Where are you? Do you guys see Ripple? I see Ripple, but I don't see Bitfinex on here. There we go. Okay. So once again, we're using. Okay, so Bitcoin fell there. This one was making a similar pattern as well, right? Like a channel or a descending triangle. But this channel didn't even hold, just like Bitcoin's. It just fell right through. So now, guys, where was I going again? Right, this channel here. Body to body on 30-minute. We will allocate this tolerance. And then now we're going to go to a different time frame. 4-hour time frame. And use this. The yellow one is just like a tolerance that we're allocating once again, okay? A tolerance we allocate just to get an idea of possibilities. Here, it's pretty much a parallel line. Different tolerance for this guy. Let's see if it can be drawn nicely in any other way. This one is actually decent. I'm liking it. See how much. See, every time, okay, we get into this channel here. I'm not sure where that blue line came from. Oh yeah, blue is the most extreme case. I don't know where all my stuff went. Pretty sure I had a lot more than this on here before we went to the Bitcoin page. So we're finding resistance once again at the 382 level, right? And if we drew our Fibonacci extension from ABC, worst case scenario, if that doesn't hold, right, we can be falling down to a 1-to-1 extension at the 0.5 like I mentioned. So my buy zones once again is, is anywhere between 0.7 to now even to like under 220. Like that's my buy zone, guys. I want to see if it bounces at 382. Like it's possible, if it's that bullish. It's absolutely possible if it's that bullish. Then all I'm going to do for any of these plays that I'm taking is, let's say I entered a position right here. Right, this is a pretty good position as well. So this is the buy zone, which I'm just going to put a little box in here. I don't want to keep it up there, but it's between $1.70 and basically under 220. We'll put it that way. So the first play, I'm too lazy to write down all the stuff, is I'll target about $1.50 because that's where these relevant resistances and supports are. This guy right here, see all these ones, and 250 is a very good psychological round number. And there are two different tolerances we're allocating as support, right? Here's the first one, here's the second one, basically. Where here's basically the first tolerance that we're giving it, okay? Like a secondary tier support, okay? And anytime we are in this zone right here, I'm just going to draw it so you guys know what zone I'm talking about. In this zone here, that becomes a very strong buy area, if you guys have noticed. In this one here, these are the dump zones. The dump zones and the people getting liquidated, stop losses triggering, etc. So people lucky enough to catch these ones. I didn't catch any of it, but if anyone, for example, caught, even at $2, right? And you put it in $20,000 and it went up 50 cents there. Well, that's 25% it went up. You would have made yourself like 5,000 if you played a $20,000 position. So it's some serious money, right? So anyways, so right now we're getting to this region right here that I drew earlier with the squiggly lines. And if you guys notice that you know, it's being rejected, right? Every time. So right now it's being definitely rejected. So we look on the, I don't think we finished looking at all the indicators, right? We look at Bitcoin right now and it's at 14.4. It's kind of leveling off, I guess. I mean, Ripple fell to 212 in the past 5 minutes, 212, and it shot back up to 220, right? That's 8 cents in like minutes. So we know that it's meeting resistance right or support right now. 1, 2, and take a look at this. Also finding yeah, 5 ABC. Yeah, okay. This works for an ABC. That does work, actually. Okay, well, we're absolutely sorry. I was just trying to test something out here as well. That must have been boring for you guys. So we're finding like kind of like a shooting star here, right? But it's more like a doji. And this doji, it implies a lot of indecision in the market, especially when it's this low already, that there's a good chance that it's going to bounce here, right? So that's why I'm saying, guys, that this is going to be my play that I'm going to take. I'd be silly not to take it. Right here. I'm gonna take this first play, right? And I'm gonna shoot for 250. That's gonna be my target there. Just to get to the upward channel. If not 250, then you know, we're like a more conservative one would be like say 245. That's still a 10% gain. The 245 is like a 13% gain, and 250. And if we do end up breaking that channel, which I doubt we will, right? You guys can just even hold till 320. And then the stop loss is a hard $2. That's my hard. Actually, yeah. It'll be like a $2. Actually, I'd probably allocate more than that for myself because I would be extreme and I would not expect one of these dips again because they don't happen that often to the very extreme side between this blue and this middle yellow line. But I will accept it going to slightly lower than here. So I'm willing to take a pretty hefty loss on it. Like I'm willing to do about a 1.75 risk to reward ratio. So I would take a 9% loss if I lost, and a 16% win if I win this trade here for my swing. So we're finding heavy support, as you guys notice, right? Every time we get to this region, take a look. Look, guys. Right here, T13, this is where the major dip was before, right? So what does this imply? This implies this, guys. There we go. Nailed it. So this is the pattern we might be playing with right now. Right? And I don't even think it's going to break out of here, to be honest now. I regret saying what I just said because I realized that this is the pattern to break first, right? If it does end up breaking out of here, wonderful, but it might not be till the end of here. So right now the challenges are more so. This is even a one-to-one risk to reward. Like I'm not really finding a lot of awesome plays here for Ripple right now. I just wanted to give you guys my general. Actually, no, risk to reward would be better than that. Yeah, this would be decent. I'll take this trade here for sure. I'll set my stop loss still at $2. it's not the best gain, 10%. I mean, just as an example, if you play a $10,000 hand, you know, 10% is 1,000, and that might be for a few days. Yeah, I'll play this position for sure, just to see how it goes. I think it needs to break this massive red line and descending triangle before it can get up to here right now. Hey, I apologize if this prediction is really long. I'm also catching myself up as well. And I think it's also important for you guys to familiarize yourself with different perspectives, etc., of what's going on in the marketplace, right? So we can be more well-rounded as traders and investors. Okay, so yeah, like I mentioned, this squiggly line area that I drew earlier, every time it goes there, bam, we're meeting support, right? So we're shooting back up to 216s here. So it looks like it's about to go up finally, the MACD. On the 3-minute, looks like it. This one's about to snap back up. We're hovering very low. We're hovering very, very low right now on pretty much every RSI. This one's getting a double bottom. Not a double bottom, I mean like a double bottom here and here. This one's slightly lower right now. It's in fairly oversold regions right now, guys. And what we can expect is this, okay? What we can expect is a small bounce. That's what I'm fairly certain of right now. And I wouldn't say this because, you know, I would not say something I don't mean, because my money is affected as much as your guys' money. And there's, of course, a social responsibility to make sure that I don't FUD. So I do think, guys, I mean, since I've made this video, we've gone from 212 to 217. I do think that this is going to hold for a little bit, but we'll see for how long, right? And two things can happen, of course. It can break out of it to go up and hit the resistance line, right? Possibly hit the resistance line and then try to break 250 right here, right? It might even just keep extending sideways and then just break out of it eventually. But 250 is a big psychological number. So we got some major resistances to play with, guys. So we also have a possibility, once again, of it correcting much lower, okay, guys, to a different fib level. This is nothing, this fib level. 382 is holding for now, okay, guys? It is holding for now, and I do think that at the end of this symmetric triangle, it will simply just, this descending bearish triangle, I want it to be clear about that. It's bearish and it's descending. When it breaks out of it, it coincidentally is at the 382 region. I can't help but think it's going to break down to even lower, to the next major support area, which will be in here, right here, and that also will make pretty much a one-to-one extension for the ABC. So this one, if you guys notice, is between $2, right? Between $2 and $1.70, we'll say, even just to be super conservative, between $1.70 and $2. That is going to be my big buy zone. That's why I was saying I'm only going to buy 25% right now, and that's it. So the chances of us breaking out of this symmetric triangle to test the top channel is pretty slim, in my opinion. Keep in mind that this is also making a different channel, okay? There's many different areas you can see of play, right? This was obviously the area of play before. I'm going to delete this one so you guys know what I'm talking about. This one was obviously the major area of play, right? This is the major area, the green one that I just highlighted there. And then we have this area as well that gets, the territory is entered once in a while, right? But every time it does, it bounces back up. And then we have this area right here, which would be more of a, considered a bullish area, right? Yeah, this area would be definitely considered a more bullish area where it tried to break out, but it couldn't. So it goes back to its normal range that it's used to right here. So now we see it in this region. Now it is 100% range bound. to this area right here. Now the only question is, where is it going to go? The top squiggly line area or the bottom squiggly line area, right? That's why my stop loss is pretty low right there, or fairly tight, around say $2 there. But still, guys, this is a pretty decent trade. I mean, take a look at her, right? You can get 10% of your money. Let's say you guys are playing with, I don't know, a $3,000 account, and you leveraged it, which I don't recommend, but I'm just using as an example. And you leveraged it to $10,000 position, guys. Okay, $10,000 position is what you'll have. You have a chance to gain 10% of that money, which could be $1,000. So even though you have a $3,000 account only, and you're leveraging it to play with 10,000 on Bitfinex, for example, well, if you gain 10% of 10K, that's 1K, right? But 1K of your 3K is 33%. So you actually have a chance to gain 33% of your principal, which is ridiculous. Now, don't get me wrong, it's probably not going to hit 235. Realistically, it's probably going to hit 230 is what I'm guessing. Yeah, 230 is what I'm guessing it's going to hit. That seems more realistic because it needs a little bit of time, right? Maybe not 230, maybe 235 or sorry, 232. So between 230 and 235. So that's my swing trade potential trade that I'm definitely going to take. So good luck with it if you guys take it. See you guys later. These are my thoughts on Ripple. Now, once again, I just want to be very clear to you guys that I do think it's going to make this ABCDE correction. It's just a matter of for how long, okay? A, B, you know, for example. This could be C down here still, right? C, and then I think it will make some sort of D and E, and then I think it will break out. But this is going to be a while, guys, so be patient. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, I'd really appreciate the upvote on Steemit. Steemit is somewhere where I blog, and Steemit's actually worth a lot now, guys, so I'd really appreciate it. Anyways, yeah, if you also enjoyed the video, you know, like, share, subscribe, follow, give me some love. I also have Luna's Bitfinex account. Yeah, if you guys are welcome to donate to that, but never feel obligated. Please don't ever feel obligated. If you guys feel I'm doing something good for the community and you just want to, you know, buy me dinner or something like that, you're welcome to donate to Luna's cryptocurrency fund, or she'll use it for tequila. As you guys know, she's quite an alcoholic, so she's probably going to use it for tequila and vodka like she's always been doing for a while. All those, you know, stuff that you guys send me goes towards Luna and whatever she wants to use it for. Vet bills, moving out, college, doggydating.com, sorry, prostitutes, whatever. She can use it, drugs, I don't care. It all goes to her. So have yourselves a great day, guys, and thank you for watching this video. Take it easy. And guys, don't forget what I mentioned, please, about Bitcoin. It is still deciding whether it's in correction mode or not. So you guys need to play extra cautious right now and think about everything I've said from every perspective, okay? And take it with a grain of salt. Once again, I'm not a financial advisor, but other than that, have yourselves a great day and take it easy. See you next time.